Is this thing working? Are we live? It looks like we're live. Happening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. I'm not so sure that the feed is looking amazing, but hey, you never know. Listen, it's a bit of a crapshoot with these live shows anyway. If you're new to the channel, especially if you're new to the live show, thanks for stopping by. This is my opportunity to interact directly with you guys. If you've got questions about ride reviews or bikes that I've ridden or anything like that, now's the time to jump in and say hello, ask those questions that you might have. My channel pretty much is not much more than a background noise generator. So, while you're doing something else, this could be playing in the background because it ain't much to look at. I mean, look, I got to sit here and stare at me while I'm doing this, so I get it. But listen, if you need to fall asleep, sometimes this works too. Look, here's the thing. This is going to be a bit of a short show. I'm in the process of cleaning up the GSXR 1000. I took it out for a little bit today, and it is a bit chilly. And so the GSXR 1000 is a bit spicy. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to be doing with that bike to kind of bring it down a peg or two. That bike, listen, it is a little heathen, and I love riding it. And there's some things that I'd like to change. One of the things that I'm probably going to end up changing on that bike, and it'll probably happen, I don't know, sometime eventually, is I'm going to replace the electronic steering dampener on that bike with an Öhlins steering dampener. Mainly because I want some level of adjustability with that thing. And I don't really know that the factory one is awesome. It's not really bad, but look, and I'm probably going to re-gear that bike. One of the issues that I guess it's an issue, it's not really a bad thing, is that thing is it's not that far away from stock gearing. Stock gearing is a 1745 setup. The bike now, the way it sits, is 1744. And with the tune from Two Wheel Dyno Works and that full M4 exhaust, it still has the factory velocity stacks. So it is rowdy through the mid and upper mid range. And so rolling into the throttle, that thing's trying to do wheelies in cold air in fourth gear, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's also trying to do those same little wheelies in fifth gear. And it's pretty regular to get a pretty decent head shake out of that thing on occasion. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go with the Öhlins steering dampener, may re-gear it, but man, I'll tell you what, the bike is running exceptionally well. And on the side of the tire, that bike at full song is a riot on long sweepers. So, it's kind of funny. You talk about the GSXR 1000 versus the GSXR 750 or an R9 or any of the heavier hitters in the middleweight class. And it's kind of funny because, the GSXR 750 does a lot of the same things that the GSXR 1000 does. It just doesn't have it doesn't have the volume turned up to 11, so to speak. And it's a lot more friendly of a bike to ride. Not to say that it's not fast. It's just not jigs or thou fast. But for anyone that would say that the R9 or that the RCR 990 could possibly ever be a replacement for any leader bike of any manufacturer is absolutely nutty. I mean, one of the arguments, and this is one of the things when I was riding my bike today, is you think about stuff while I'm getting set up for different turns. By the way, it wasn't really so much that it was cold, it's that the air temperature was kind of cold and clammy. It was just kind of cold and like not really wet, but wet. You know what I mean? Like that swamp air. Anyway, but anyway, one of the things I was thinking about, it was kind of funny. I'll find myself kicking around YouTube or kicking around different like different articles on different things. Like guys will say, yeah, it's got the torque of a leader bike, but it's more docile, talking about the R9 or the RCR or the V2 Panigale, or really any of the more super middleweight class of bikes. And I go out and ride my bike, my 1000. And it's like, I've ridden bikes, dude. They don't roll like this. So anyway, that was just one of the things that I did today. Those are some upcoming changes that I will probably make to that bike. And again, the regear, it's either going to be a 1743 and just go up or go, I'm sorry, go down one more tooth on the rear sprocket, or make a conversion to like 1641. So we'll see how that whole thing plays itself out here over the next 6 months or so. But let me check in with you guys. Sam is in. Sam's liking his truck. That's cool. Break says, have you ever ridden a first gen ZX10 like in 1988? No, I have not. Feels like that would be a sweet street bike if you could find a nice one. Here's the thing with the older bikes. Up to a certain point, they're good, but like, okay, so the older ZX10s, especially the 88, 89, anything that is coming up into the 90s, right up until 99? Say 1999, 2000, when the R1 was released. Up to that point, you got to remember that it really wasn't leader bikes. Now, granted, that would have been probably a better street bike. It's a bigger bike. It's a heavier bike. The bigger displacement machines were almost teetering on sport touring. It was almost like, how do you put this? The ZX9 is a good example of this. It's right there in the middle. And this is during the time where you had a bunch of 900cc, like the CBR 900, the 929, the 954, ZX9. These are all bikes that, they made a bunch of power, but they were kind of big. They were kind of heavy. And the smaller bikes would have been really the more super sport, the 600s of their day, right? But here's the thing. The ZX10, to me, from that era, didn't turn into the ZX10 later, right? It almost feels like that ZX10 turned into the Blackbird, right? Or not the Blackbird, ZX11, right? And then it went from there to whatever. And then Honda at the time had the Blackbird. And then Hayabusa was 1998, which was going after that. But you get the idea. There was a cadence going there. And that's something that was a lot of, it was pretty interesting back then because of just how that all came together. Where the guys that were going for ultimate top speed, there was this divergence. And it's weird because some of the displacements that we would see today, the 1000s, 1100s, 1200s with some of the Ducatis, those bikes are now sport bikes, and the hyper sport, if you will, the ZX 14, 1400 cc's basically, or the Hayabusa, which is 1300, those kind of kept in their whole area. And yeah, the ZX11, there you go. Yes. Awesome bike. And that was the fastest bike you could buy at the time. Blackbird came out to beat it. And then the Hayabusa came out to go after it. And that's when, the gentleman's agreement kicked into place. So, lots of cool bikes from back then. And unfortunately, it's kind of sad. A lot of those bikes, again, they just like some of the muscle car era stuff, they start to fall out of fashion. The newer stuff comes out. The older stuff isn't as fast, doesn't handle as well, cantankerous or whatever, not as reliable. And they kind of fall by the wayside. Another good example of that is, DM is in. What's up, man? Good to see you. Got the ball guy with the flex and the specs. Sam saying, get yourself something with a carbon, a magneto. If you can find something like that, again, if it's even worth messing with, because like what we're talking about with the vintage bikes, the issue is, okay, so steel frame, you got a rust problem, potential cracks, all kinds of issues can come with those early bikes, and they are flexy as hell too, right? It really isn't like, if I were to buy another vintage bike, you know, and keep in mind, I've got my dad's Daytona. If I were to get another bike that would be like a vintage era type of a machine, I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be able to buy the bike that I would want, which would be like an 87, 88 GSXR 750. Because I don't know if I'd want to deal with carburetors, although to be honest, carburetors are a bit more honest to work on, and I'm real comfortable working on them. So yeah, maybe that wouldn't be such a big issue. But that being said, you know, I would probably have to go with something vintage to me, which would be a 2008, 9, or 10 CBR 1000. And it's weird to think of that bike as a vintage bike. But I mean, again, we're coming into 2026. Those bikes are coming up on, you know, the ugly side of 15 years old. You know, those are going to be some of the bikes that that I would look at, mainly because I've always kind of wanted one, and I always really liked them. I always thought they were really good looking bikes. So for me, if I ever get another leader bike, because I don't think I can get away from my Suzuki. That thing is just too good. I got off of that bike not long ago, today, and it's cold. The bike's trying to do wheelies in every freaking gear, head shaking all over the place. So for cold weather, it needs to be re-geared, and either way, it needs an Olin steering dampener. That electronic steering dampener is questionable at best. But my gosh, is that thing fun? And I took a picture of the side of the tire and sent it to Orange Crush, and I said, "It's I got the S23s, and I've got the waves moving through on the side of the tire." Let's see if it'll even show up on this. It's throttle control, LOL, huh? Anyway, there you go. It's me gnarling up the side of the tire on the S23s when it was cold. And here you go. I don't know if that's going to look any better. It's not really showing up. Hang on. Here you go. Now here's S23. So yeah, out there tearing up the side of the tire on that thing today. And I mean, I came into a right-hander hot, and downshift, coming in the right-hander, drop it in, and then just rolled into it hard on corner exit. And that bike just doing the shit. I'm just grabbed fourth gear. Corner, I don't even know what corner exit was. I was still in my own lane, so it wasn't super high. But I rolled it out to trips and then full on the brake, downshift hard into the left-hander. Anyway, I was having a ball with it, but it was a little spicy today. So let me check in with you guys. Oh, brake stuff, 92 GSXR 1100. Oh, dude. Don't break my heart with that one. That's still one of my all-time favorites. But you talk about a big bike. It's a bigger bike than you might think. It is not like the newer bikes. There's a level of commit. Okay, so that bike. Oh, I'm going to pull this up because I'm going to share something with you guys real quick. Let me show you guys what he's talking about. Images. It's a damn pretty bike. Here we go. All right, let me share this screen. So this is easily one of the prettiest bikes ever made. It's not one of the slabbies, but it is the bigger displacement. And look, if you can get one running and keep it running, I always wanted to build a drag bike out of one of these. I just thought that this bike was what you would build a drag bike out of. But yeah, I absolutely love those bikes. I mean, it would be a royal flex to roll up on one of these things, man. Sam say Harley's the best if you want something with a carb. Yeah. I mean, they definitely are good with that. Sam's checking in with DM. Break Stuff, newest bikes in 030X 1200. Nice. Yes, Break Stuff. Hell yeah. Stretch, Open, Vance and Hines, the whole bit. I mean, I don't know why, but this thing to me just screamed build a drag bike out of it. And it wouldn't even necessarily have to be fast. It would just have to look the part, run, respectable numbers for its era. And, let the folks that can catch it and go around you catch you and go around you, but they can enjoy the view as they're catching it, because this thing would be just sick to death. But anyway, yeah, that was always a really pretty bike. But I don't know if I were to get anything. See, for me, here, let me see if I can pull this one up. Let's do 2010. Oh, 20. Dude, good grief. Can I even type tonight? CBR un mil. Good grief. What is wrong with this? Here we go. So I still can't believe I don't own one of these things. And I actually went hunting for one. Here we go. Okay. So is this a better picture? I went hunting for one of these things. It's been a hot minute ago. And I never could find one that was in decent shape. And the funny thing is that it was just harder and harder to find one that somebody wasn't trying to just absolutely, make to the bank with the numbers they were looking at. But I always wanted a Repsol, 2010. And don't try to throw the kitchen sink at it. Just get the thing to where it runs good, sounds good. It's a leader bike. It's going to do cool stuff. But the thing is, I'll always say this about the CBR 1000. And the reason why I can't believe that I don't own this exact bike right here is I always felt like the CBR 1000 was a better GSXR 750. It never really could hang with the Gixxer. It could not hang with the ZX10 in terms of outright power. But where I was living in Northern California at the time, outright power just really wasn't something I was all that interested in. We're up in the mountains, we're doing track days at T Hill in Willows. So outright power, I always liked the CBR because it had this big meaty chunk of just mid-range grunt. And although it didn't have the outright power of the GSXR 1000, it always had good power and would always hang with my 750, which wasn't stock, but it had more power than my 750, but it was gruntier, and it was the first of the small CBRs also. I can't remember what these bikes weighed. Let me see something here. Let me get back into what did they weigh? I can't remember what these things weighed. Bear with me here. I just want to see. Dry weight of 431. Oh, I'm sorry. Dry weight of 385. That's okay. So that's when they dropped in that era, and wet weight of 438. So again, you're talking about a bike that doesn't really weigh a lot, even by today's standards. It's just a cool ass bike. And in fact, when I say it doesn't weigh a lot, it weighs the same as the current CBR 1000 weighs, which is in essence, it weighs as much as a middleweight. The heavier middleweights like a ZX6, for example. The CBR 1000, they don't weigh that much different from each other. So anyway, that's one of the bikes that I always wanted. If I ever found one of those that was just in crazy good shape that I could get my hands on, or one that just needed some work, needed a little TLC, bring it back to life, I would definitely pick one of those up. It's weird. Of all the bikes to be a halo bike, that's a halo bike for me. That one, my X-Star Suzuki, my GSXR 750 that I have now, those are the three that I always wanted, and I've kind of got them. So that's a cool thing. Um, oh, Break Stuff talking about 1100 Katana. Dude, do you remember those? What was the RF 900 and the RF 600? That was another bike. I came so close to getting an RF 900 at one point. I always thought it was a really practical bike. I don't know. It was a sport utility bike before it was a dad bike before there were dad bikes. Break Stuff saying his dad had a 94 CBR 900. Very good bike. Oh, Break Stuff. I got a short on my channel on my cam, KZ1000 idling. I will have to listen to that. Love that. Love that bike. Sam, what does that mean? Explain what that means. I'm planning on launching a side shaft bottom end to the moon. Is that a Harley thing? Shows you what I know about those bikes. But yeah, though it's kind of a weird bike to fetishize, but I just absolutely love that that Repsol, 8, 9, 10 generation of CBRs. And again, for no other reason than they just were a big middleweight as far as my brain would translate. Oh, Sam, it's a mower equipment thing. Gotcha. But outside of that, again, waiting on the exhaust to show up for the GSXR 750. Certified, as I was saying it, do you already have your M4 for the 750 ordered? It is ordered. In fact, I think it shipped yesterday. I'm hoping to have it sometime by the middle of next week. So it's the M4 with the titanium mid pipe. And hopefully, like I say, it comes in here pretty quickly. I'm pretty stoked on getting that thing installed and spending some time on the 750. That bike is so much fun to ride. And what's funny is that, and the computer is also sent off to Two Wheel Dyno Works. I will probably get it's kind of funny. I will probably have the exhaust installed, and then the next day that computer will probably show up. Break Stuff saying my favorite CBR is the 0406,000. I was in middle school when they were new and loved the way they look. Had one at the dealership, had an 07, what an 0406, it was an 07 Repsol bike that I darn near bought. But I didn't buy it because I wanted the 8, 9, 10. Murph saying had a CBR 600F. CBR 600s are a lot of fun, especially that era. A lot of guys learn how to do motorcycle stuff on that exact bike. Never forget the F4i, man. Holy cow. That bike, more people stunted, tracked, street, all kinds of goofy stuff on the F4is. I remember what the first wheelie I ever did on a street bike was on an F4i. No, it wasn't. I just lied. It was on a Hurricane 600. So I guess that would be an F. Keith's asking, no off-roading. Not since I was a kid. No, but I did a lot of off-roading as a kid. A lot of enduro, a lot of some motocross, but a lot of enduro. KX80 was my weapon of choice. My very first motorcycle was a PW50 when I was 5 years old. Sam saying two-stroke jet kits are looking mighty delightful right about now. Yeah, I mean, if you're into off-road stuff, or you can find any of the two-stroke carbureted stuff. Brace's saying, remember the Smokin' Joe 600? Vaguely. Keith, I'm in Texas. So, but yeah, it's been a it's been kind of fun getting the 750 sorted out. But again, we've got the M4 coming, two-wheel dyno works tune, and I'm looking forward to getting back on that bike. As much as I love my 1000, and uh, as much as I enjoy the ferocity of that thing, I got to say that it's a lot more fun. The fun factor is a little bit higher on the 750 just because how easy it is to drop that thing into corners. Not that the 1000's not easy, it's just, it's different. It's different. I'll say this about the leader bike versus any of the middleweights. If you don't have the area to be able to play with a leader bike, it turns into windshield time. And this, if you're into cars, this will really make a whole lot of sense. You can be in an old beat up pickup truck, or you can be in a Lambo. If you're stuck in traffic, you're stuck in traffic, right? The view really isn't going to change out your windshield. And it's kind of the same way with leader bikes. It's just that if you've got big wide open spaces, they can be a lot of fun. They're really fun on the side of the tire, but you're tire limited, you're power limited, you're surface limited. All of those limitations hit that bike the same as they do a middleweight. And so you just don't have to worry about outright power on corner exit, or, tearing up tires or anything like that on a middleweight, and you can play with them a little bit more. But that being said, warm months, man, that leader bike is so good. Breaks up saying, the last dirt bike I was on was a 2018 KX 450. Those are badass. Sam's, first Honda ATC 70. Nice. Yeah, the first 125 I ever rode, it felt like a rocket ship too compared to my 80. Certified's asking favorite full face helmet right now. Probably the Shoei 1200 or 1400 is the one that I'm currently wearing. And I like that one a lot. Although, I don't know, man, I'm kind of weird when it comes to helmets. My favorite all-time helmet is that one right there, the Suomi. And I need to get internals for that thing. I may have to pull that one out of retirement if I can find some internals for that thing. I got to rebuild it. Let's see. Sovereign is in. What's going on, man? Seems I can tell you that the beat up old pickup is more fun than the Lambo. It can be. Keith saying get a Grom. Almost bought a Grom. And the only reason why I was going to get a Grom was to literally go back and forth from the shop to the house. And I wanted to get a Grom just to only do a wheelie from here to the neighborhood and back. So anyway, it was that thing would never, the front tire would never wear out on that thing. Just fourth gear, just clutch it up and just ride it home. They're saying I wear Shoei or HJC. All right. I tell you what, and I hate to look, all kidding aside, you want to know what the best helmet has been? Just in terms of being quiet, in terms of fit, in terms of just taking a beating. It's my cheap camera rig helmet, the Scorpion. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. This is what is it, an RF 320. This thing that is my throwdown, it was the helmet that I bought literally only to be a camera rig, has turned out to, and I kid you not, has turned out to be one of the absolute best helmets I've ever worn. Mainly because it fits well. It's quiet like an Arai. It fits very much like that Arai, my dad's old Arai right there. Or that Arai right there, which is an older Singit. They're both Singit. Fits just like the older Singit, and it's quiet like the older Singit, and it's crazy cheap. Yeah, the styling of it, say what you will, but it works exceptionally well. And whenever I'm doing any kind of ride-in review or you see me doing anything crazy, I'm wearing this helmet. That you don't see the stuff that I do with the other helmet because I don't have a camera attachment to it, which is my RF 1400. Um, Oh, Breakstuff saying the only super sport he's ever ridden was a 13 S1000 R. Good bike based off the GSX-R 1000, by the way. Friend let me ride it, had over 140 on a back road in Pennsylvania. Didn't even feel like I was speeding. Ain't that the truth? So when I was on the X-Star bike, my 1000, there's a long right-hand sweeper that just kind of goes forever. Seems like anyway. It feels like it does. It's an on-ramp, but it's a long on-ramp. And it allows me to just drop the bike over and just start fanning through gears. And once I get it into fifth, I'll basically just pin it for a little bit while it's, just on. It's not really upright, but it's upright enough to where you can pin it. Especially with a set of S22s or S23s on the back of that bike, it's going to grip. And I'll buzz it up to an indicated one. I'll exit. I either call it exit the turn or enter the main lane at either 152, 154, 160, or 162. It just depends on where I roll out of the throttle. And it's almost like clockwork. It's just, roll out of here, I'll enter at this. It's super consistent in that way. It never feels like I'm going much more than, I know what I'm doing and I understand the closing rates and everything. I know what I'm doing. So I'm kind of used to that speed, but everything is so composed on that bike that it just doesn't feel like you're taxing the machine itself. Fun fact though. All right. So we're talking about GSX-R 1000 in that blast, but the last time I rode my 750 when it was still completely stock, I had to be in it harder for a little bit longer, but my entry or exit speed, again, depending on how you want to look at it, indicated 154. And it just is even happier than it was that thing's just happy to be a part of the conversation. Bear with me here. Oh, Sovereign. I'll have to check it out. We're saying nice. They don't last long, but I really like Scorpion gloves. I've never tried them, but I do need some new. I think I need some new gloves and get some new gauntlets. Oh, Sam. Yeah, you can use a whole pedal on any car you're driving. It just depends on what you want to get away with. But again, the analogy wasn't one versus the other fun factor. It's just, it doesn't matter. You could be in an old Corolla and you're all hanging out with the same traffic, right? Certified saying, I like the Shoei X12. Yeah, wear your lid. X14, good helmet. Oh, Mercedes can't really ride too fast unless it's early in the morning. Yeah, I depends on where we're at. I go through phases with how I ride on the street. There are some times where I get out there and I am only there to haul ass. I am just there to do dumb stuff. And then there's other times where I kind of drag it back a little bit and I just want to have fun and just enjoy the bike. And that'll last for just a little bit. And then I'll start hitting corners harder. And then next thing you know, I'm just acting like me. Mike saying, got a new helmet with the Corda system. Love being able to listen to music or podcasts. Is that the Cardo? And talk to friends with me. Oh yeah, yeah. Those are kind of neat. I don't know. When I'm on the bike, I got my I got my earplugs in, and that's it. I used to always ride with with the old iPods. I haven't done that in a long time. But yeah, too crowded and too many distractions. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, Sovereign. Very sorry to hear that. Well, Godspeed, Kitty. Mike saying, once I got that Akropovich system, might not be able to hear the audio. Well, yeah. I tell you what, like I say, I'm not really a big loud fan. I like the tone of an exhaust. And man, I got to tell you, that M4 does sound good on the GSXR 1000. Um, we're saying buy good earplugs are best. I've got the Artivive, or TVs, whatever these things are. They're not bad. Um, it beats not having anything. But but I'm trying to think of what else is going on, making sure I got all of you guys in. Again, sorry about Sovereign's Kitty. But no, so updates, yes, we've got GSXR 1000, probably going to get an Olin steering dampener and get rid of the electronic steering dampener, just get the kit that they sell. I'm thinking again about regearing that bike, but that'll probably change once it warms up a little bit. It's just that thing's a little on the aggressive side when it's cold. Um, so those are the updates, and then again, we're on exhaust watch right now. So as soon as the M4 shows up, we'll be getting that on the GSXR 750, tuned by Two Wheel Dyno Works. They will have that computer on Tuesday. So I'll probably get it back. Like I say, the day that the exhaust comes in will probably be the day that the computer shows up. And if it is a pretty day, you better believe we're going on a ride the second that thing lands. Braxo said, oh, earplugs are a must. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, for me, it's more about the fatigue. I don't, especially with my right ear, because I've got like weirdly uh, good hearing in my right ear, apparently. But I definitely have to have something in my right ear, and it's it really can get drony after a while. But yeah, as long as I've got these things in my ears, I'm usually good. I'm saying I can't ride without something, or I'd be deaf by now. I tell you what, you're asking about helmets. This thing, I mean, I just got back. I didn't use my earplugs, and I really don't notice it. These are quiet too, with wind noise. Um, Believe it or not, it's quieter than my Shoei. So yeah, as much as folks like to say this or that about the Scorpions, I am a major fan of them. Matter of fact, that helmet right there is a Scorpion also. That was the original camera rig, and that one was bought back when I did all the racing with the Hellcat, and that was for well, this one right there, that's the Simpson. That was for Spring Nationals. And DM's got some really good ears. I need to get, I probably should get some of those. Mark's liking Yosh, Acro, and Graves. Yeah, I love me some Yoshi too, man. Yoshi always sounds good. Um, but I tell you what, one of the best sounding motorcycles I've ridden sport bike wise, this is going to come as no surprise whatsoever, was that 2019 R1 with that Tosh system. And I know it's like, oh my God, it's a Tosh. Yes, I know, but my God, did that thing sound good? I mean, you don't have to buy it for the look. If it sounds that good, it's going to run. I mean, it's going to run good either way. But man, that bike sounded so good. But that bike sold, so I don't have to walk past it anymore. I'd walk past it and just side eye that R1. Love me some R1. But yeah, R1 with pretty much any aftermarket exhaust is at the top of my list. Oh, and as far as upcoming stuff, so I'm trying to line out some ride and review bikes. This time of year is tough, cold, kind of crappy outside, but I'm going to try to get a couple of ride and reviews in over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, again, we'll have the 750 done. May have already ordered the steering dampener for the 1000 by then. We'll see. And what else is there? That's kind of it. Nothing really on the horizon right now as far as any motorcycling news outside of what you're already seeing from either Motorcycle Live or EICMA. There's not a whole lot to get excited about right now with middleweights. One of the hardest things to come by right now is an R9. If you're a fan of the R9 and you want to buy one, they seem to be few and far between. But I can tell you this, more of them are showing up on used bike lots than ever before, it seems like. And I've got the APB out for anybody. If you've got one, let me know. I would love to. I'd love to ride one, but I got to say, I used to say that. The more that I've been, the more guys that I've talked to that have owned them, the more that I've watched just the YouTube content, like guys will come on and they'll chime in in the comments. Nobody's really all that excited about that bike. So I was even thinking about getting one for the channel, but because there seems to be some certain amount of disappointment with that bike with existing owners, I think I will probably go a different route if I'm going to get another bike for the channel itself. Skids is in. What's up, man? Let's see. Merce liking the Graves. NC 3-cylinder by Honda back in the day. Yep. Is Honda making that new CB1000 or is it all AIBS? Well, they've got the new CB1000. That's probably the silver one that you might be talking about. That one is real. It's a detuned version of the Hornet 1000. By all accounts, going to be a neat bike. I'm a little bit disappointed with that one. I really thought that it should have got the full Monty Hornet engine. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why they didn't, but anyway, for the American market anyway, the Hornet is so neutered that I don't see any reason why they should have swapped in or put in different cams into the CB1000, that newer one. But it is criminally pretty. And I will say this, about the only bike that'll beat it in terms of looks is the Z900 RS. If you're into, the retro look of bike. Skid's asking about the MV Agusta 5-cylinder. Yes, waiting to see what that is actually going to end up looking like. But it looks like on the front end, it's going to be pretty nasty. So we'll see how that shapes up. Lots of folks are geared up over that 5-cylinder. And I don't know. Jim Mopar said, hey, Brian, I see the content has changed some. Yes. How'd we do? Have we beaten the record again? Talk to me, Jim. For those of you that don't know, Jim and I used to split, apparently. We had joint custody of the Stock Boost 93 octane record for Hellcats for a number of years. Oh, Skid's saying that bike was at EICMA. Yeah, that bike was at EICMA. And I mean, there's a lot of folks that are getting geared up over it. But again, the disappointment really was more that it didn't have the power that a lot of folks were hoping for. DM saying Honda already has a 5-cylinder. They just have to dust it off. That is very true. I never understood why some of those engines never made it to prime time. I mean, I understand why, but I mean, you're already there. I mean, you might as well, right? You got the tooling. It's not like you don't have the casting. 240 horsepower wasn't good enough. Yeah, talking about the MV, we'll see. Well, the thing is look, when it comes to horsepower and bikes, I just came back with my 1,000. And one of the things about horsepower, especially with bikes, is that, look, you've got tire technology that you've got to work with. You've got the consumable that is the tire that you have to deal with as well. You start to get, there's a place on the bell curve where it's, you've crested this really nice, lots of performance, lots of reliability, handles well, and doesn't break the bank, right? And doesn't break the bank could mean tires, big time. When you get to the thousands, that's really one of the hidden costs that a lot of folks just don't realize. I mean, I was looking at mine and I was just like, I'm going to have to replace a tire at some point early into next year, or early into next season, I should say. Murph's saying the state I live has a super speeder law. That's when, I mean, you know what you're doing, right? Jim's checking and say, I had to change trans due to a dealer screw up. Put a Demon converter in it and woke the car up. Negative 2,500 DA. The car cut a 137 60 foot. Damn, ran a 981 on 91 and a can of Octanium. Nice. I'll tell you something. I would have killed to get decent air. We had, what's funny, well, let me rephrase that. In the last year over year, so this year and last year, it has been like grainy air. It has been wet. I would have been losing my mind is what I'm trying to get at. But I'm glad it's doing well. Did y'all have to do anything with the tune, with the Demon converter, or did you guys just toss it in there? That's I would have loved to have been a part of that. But congratulations on that one, brother. Skid saying excess of 100 miles an hour and they don't chase you. I don't know. Oh, Mercy, I can't take a chance. FHP is crazy. No plates. Pin it. Oh, Jim saying the track closed early to extend the cement to the 330 foot. No, nice. So no negative 1,100 or so. Gotcha. DM saying nothing outruns the radio. No, it does not. Oh, Skid's asking, so all these new Chargers with the JBL or Diablo tune get close to the Hellcat times? No. No, not at all. Oh, Jim say we just threw it in there. Nice. DA was negative 250. I tell you what, I would take flat DA. I'll never forget, we had some crazy dry air. And this was a day at the drag strip. My car, and it got, the air got grainier as the night came in. And so the car went 10-10 at like noon. And then at 3 o'clock, it went 10-10. It's like, okay, DA just kept creeping up. But the air was drier. And then at 6 o'clock or whatever, I was making more runs in this, but as the DA dropped, the humidity went up and the car just kept running the identical exact time. Like, it was hysterical. But that's awesome, man. I love it. Mike saying, once I get my GSX-R 1000 tuned with full system, I want to race a Hellcat. Well, a couple of things. If it's at a drag strip and it's somebody who's got a car on a tire, you're going to have to run him down. If it's a roll race, you'd be better off roll racing something else. Hellcat will not offer up much of a challenge. Jim saying, the week before we had 1340 DA, but baro and humidity were good and the car still ran 994. Nice. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's one of the things for us down here, man. It was the humidity is what would break your heart. I mean, look, when I went 1005, that was in soup. And I still don't understand how that car, there was no reason for that car to go in 05. That was crazy. And it was going 08 all freaking night, right up until that 05. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Man, I don't know. If we had a drag strip, I'd get another one and get after it. But without a drag strip, makes it tough. And not having a drag strip within any real convenient distance kills it too. The closest drag strip I've got would be at least an hour and a half one way. Oh, I'm over time, guys. With that, I've got to wrap it up. But listen, appreciate each and every one of y'all hanging out. Get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. But with that, if you made it this far into the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Helps me out way more than you know. Thank you guys again. Love each and every one of y'all. And I will see you on the next one. Hopefully, take it easy.